Yeah, then we'll get a great discussion there. We'll hit on these real quick. So the other big one was Brian Kelly surprises and goes to Notre Dame. And then also,
hey, breaking news real quick.
Yeah, go. Oh, yeah, go.
Michigan number 2.
Okay.
Bama 3, Cincinnati 4, Oklahoma State 5.
Hey, there we go. All right.
So,
wait, who was number 4?
Cincinnati.
Okay, and so Notre Dame 6th.
Or Notre Dame 6, Ohio State 7.
Okay, that's a holding spot. I don't. Some people are like, "Oh, hey, maybe we could." We're not getting in. We had our shot. I mean, it'd have to be mass chaos. I don't even know how it happens. So right now, if everybody wins out, do you think that's? I mean, unless Cincinnati has an unimpressive victory, you think maybe Oklahoma State gets in? I don't know if Baylor can get in. You know what I mean?
So from my perspective, if Georgia wins, Michigan wins, Cincinnati wins, Oklahoma State wins, that's your top 4 right there. That's best case scenario for Georgia, in my opinion. But if somebody were to lose, not named Georgia, I could see Notre Dame popping in there, but I don't see anybody else getting in there. Even Baylor. Baylor might jump up to 6 or 5, but I don't see them getting in as a 2-loss conference champ.
Yeah, I mean, if mass chaos, I think Georgia's in regardless. I think if Michigan lost to Iowa, well, it could potentially be out. Go Hawkeyes. Alabama, any scenario that Alabama close game, but they get. Where would it have to be? Or you have to have mass chaos to have Alabama still in?
Alabama have to win. I don't think if Alabama loses, period, they're in. Not with the way they've played. Because if you think about it from this perspective, Georgia's done that twice. We've lost a game that we shouldn't have lost early in the season, played really well, got to the SEC championship game, played tough, and lost. And we still were number 5. So if Alabama loses, they're going to be number 5. Bama fans can go ahead and accept that they will be number 5. They don't even got to watch the CFP ranking show the next day. They're going to be 5. But if they were to beat Georgia, Georgia's probably going to fall to 3 because they're not going to.
Cincinnati maybe at 4 or something.
Cincinnati will stay at 4. And so you have Michigan, Georgia in the first round. Now, if Cincinnati loses, that's where things get weird, in my opinion, because Bama might have a chance to get back in. Notre Dame has a chance to get in, and then it's wonky if Cincinnati loses. Because
now I hate Notre Dame, so I certainly don't want to have them make it in, but I do find it funny if they made it, and this is not going to happen anyways. Even if they do make it, I'm sure they'll get blown out in the first game. But even if they did, well, what if that interim coach went on to win a national championship? Ain't going to happen. It'd be funny if Brian Kelly out the door.
I didn't get this. I didn't get that move. I'm like, you couldn't have waited a week.
Yeah, really.
It's got to be the early signing period. You know what I mean? Now,
yeah, but man, he could have waited 4 days.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, the other thing is, I don't know as though that's ever happened in college football, but I do remember in college basketball, okay, that I can't think of the coach's name at the time, but for Michigan, the Michigan basketball coach, and this was like when Glenn Rice was playing there, he was leaving to go to Arizona State. He's like, all still goes to Kim. You're like, no, we don't want you. Steve Fisher takes over as the interim coach. They went on to go on to win the national championship, and then that was before he recruited the Fab Five. So it's happened in basketball. I just can't think of a time that its interim coach goes on to win a national title in college football.
Who is their interim coach?
No idea. I have no idea.
Hey, real quick, Hugh, as from a Georgia fan, let's say we do take care of business against Alabama, and let's just say it stays. Who would probably be maybe the team that we don't want to play, or maybe the best matchup for us, or worst case here?
Honestly, if Michigan, Cincinnati, and Oklahoma State are in, there's no good matchup there. Oklahoma State's like number 55 in offense or something like that. They're not good on offense somehow. Under Mike Gundy, they're not good on offense. I don't know that they have the talent. Like Oklahoma, like basically if these teams went out, it's like us playing Kentucky.
Oh.
Because you're going to have defensive teams. Like I think they're all like top 10 or close to top, if not top 15 defensive teams that want to run the ball, that are not elite throwing the ball.
Right.
And that is not a good matchup against Georgia. So like if your plan is to play defense and run the ball on us, good luck.
Yeah. I agree.
Like this might be the most boring playoffs that we've seen in a while, just because it's not going to be high scoring games. I think defensively, all these teams would be able to, at least compete with us. I don't know if Oklahoma State could, or I don't know that, Cincinnati could with a full roster playing. But anything could happen. But I guess Michigan would probably be the best matchup just from a talent perspective. They have probably more talent than everybody else that will play.
Here, one quick question for you. So you do think with Georgia and Cincinnati playing last year and playing a great bowl game last year, so you don't think any of that would carry over to this year?
New D coordinator. And Georgia was missing like 10 or 12 contributors on the 2 deep. So no.
So you're saying that they won't sit out a national championship like they would against,
not even close. Not even close.
I hope we don't get to that point.
And the thing is like, that game shouldn't have been that close. We were just shooting ourselves in the foot. Like I sat at that game and I was like, what the hell are we doing? Like, but I don't see like, and honestly, this may or may not be true. I think our team would want to destroy Cincinnati because they think that they're good enough to play us. Like they probably want to show them like, you're not good enough.
Yeah. One other thing, just because I'm always doomsday dog, or I used to be Disney dog, but thinking the worst. All right. Just to get distracted. Let's say, God forbid, let's say a Lanning or a Monken gets plucked. Is that going to be a distraction in December? Let's hope they stay. And then who would fill in? And Sean, you can give your thoughts on that. I'm just thinking worst case because, Monken like, hey, I want to leave. I'm going to go recruit. And then we got Buster Faulkner. Or let's say Lanning left. We got Muschamp, which I think is a win-win. But just thinking worst case.
I don't think Monken, because Monken was on Saban's staff, right? So I don't think Monken would leave before the Natty game was over. He might go start doing some stuff like Kirby did, but he's going to be there to coach the game. And as far as Lanning, he's a co-DC, and we got Muschamp. I don't think that would be an issue if he left per se. I think it's understood by most coaching staffs. If you get a head coaching offer, but we're playing for the Natty, you don't leave to go to that job until we finish that. Right. Like get your staff in place, do whatever you got to do from our office, but don't mess up the mojo.
I like it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't see Monken leaving before then. I mean, it would have to be something, I think. Yeah, I just don't see him doing it. It doesn't seem like he's getting necessarily a whole lot of, feelers at this point either.
I thought he might get a look at the Oklahoma job, honestly, or like one of those jobs in the Big 12 because he's a Big 12 guy.
Right. Speaking of the Oklahoma job, or really like the coaching changes. First one, how do you think Brian Kelly's going to do?
Yeah.
He better put that money away for a rainy day.
Does he seem like an SEC guy? That's another question.
He's not a Southerner.
Yeah.
And I know Saban wasn't a Southerner, but Saban is a football guy that has a certain personality. And it actually took Saban a while to win. Les Miles won, but he's a weirdo. like most Louisianans. Like I think most people from Louisiana are kind of a little off. And it owes occasion. So like, I don't know, man. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like But maybe he'll be able to recruit better. Like he's had top 5 recruiting classes before, at least top 10. And it's very hard to get guys into Notre Dame. So so that might be part of why he's like, look, I got to go be able to find talent. Why not go to Louisiana? It is very easy to recruit to LSU in the state of Louisiana and, neighboring states. So I don't know, but I just don't think he knows what you're going to come play Saban every year.
Good luck.
Until he retires. Mm-hmm. And if you get past Saban, you're going to play Kirby.
And so my question for you is, Hube, is I know there's a requirement in the SEC that at least a certain number of coaches always have to have a visor to wear, and I know Kirby sports that So I wonder, do you think Brian Kelly has a visor? Or
look at this picture on the screen, he does.
Maybe that was the first thing they looked at, Yeah. So I don't think. And I don't think Saban, he doesn't wear the visor, but he kind of has that. That beach hat that he wears. If you ever see him, hat I'm talking about,
practice.
A straw hat. Yeah, at practice, early, in training camp. So yeah, I don't. The fit doesn't make any sense. I get Lincoln Riley going to, because you can dominate at USC. I get that. And then maybe they can actually make it into the playoff again. But yeah, it doesn't seem like a good fit to me. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I mean, it's Billy Napier going to Florida. Is that kind of one of those? Maybe he'll take off. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good fit. Maybe it is.
Think on that one.
I think Billy, I know a lot of people believe in Billy. I mean, yeah, he turned around Louisiana. I just don't see how he's much different. Like I said it this week that he's Jim McElwain without being a weirdo.
Okay.
I think he'll be able to recruit, because he's off the Saban tree, he's off the Clemson tree. So he's going to recruit way better than Mullen. But at the end of the day, they're about 5 years behind Georgia. So I was talking to one of my buddies. I was like, are you guys going to be patient enough for him to win 7, 8, maybe 9 games a few years in a row? Because they're not going to beat Georgia off the bat. Yeah. I don't know that he's an X's and O's guy like that, because I'm pretty sure he got fired as a coordinator. That he puts the fear of God in us to he's going to have talent and he's going to scheme it up.
And it's interesting to see how different conferences do it. And I'm not saying the way the Big Ten does is the way to do it. Here you go, potential 10-year contract for Mel Tucker, potential James Franklin, a 10-year contract. Harbaugh, you didn't do what you should do. Take a pay cut. It's working out right now this year, to which I don't like. And then Scott Frost, you should have already been fired, but we really like you when that national championship was for in '97. Take a pay cut, and then your buyout goes down. But in the SEC, you got to watch too. Do you get into this cycle? Hey, you didn't work out, you're gone. You didn't work out, you're gone. You didn't work out, you're gone. So at what point in time are you going to go and let a coach? And the same thing not only at Florida, but it's that way at Tennessee. You didn't work out, you're gone. You didn't work out, you're gone. So. Well, sometimes it's not a good fit, but you got to give them some time, right?
Well, to be fair, Tennessee
dumpster fire.
Pruitt kicked himself out. One of my friends worked at Tennessee, so she was in the athletic department. They didn't seem like they had a lot of structure. And I appreciated the hospitality, and them letting me walk around their facilities and all that stuff. But they kicked themselves out. You can't be underperforming a D-bag and cheating. That's why he's gone.
Only one of the three is what you're saying.
Yeah, you can maybe 2 of the 3, but not all 3.
Can you give out champions of life rings, but not real championships? At some point in time, you have to get a real ring, right?
And that's the thing with the Bush Jones firing. I didn't really get that one because what did he go his last year? 8-5 or something?
No, well, didn't he go? Well, he went to the Saban rehabilitation program, and then he's coaching at
Arkansas State now, right? He's at Arkansas State
in Florida his last year too, I think, which is crazy. He got canned.
Yeah, they fired him because No, he got fired after he lost to us in 2017. But you fired a guy that probably had you winning as much as you were supposed to win.
Right.
Like, I think a lot of these teams have, and I get it, everybody wants to win big, but you got to have realistic expectations, right? Like, there are very few schools that have the resources and the footprint and the natural advantage to compete for championships every year.
But dude, you got to understand from what I hear from all these Tennessee fans that live in the Charlotte area is, I mean, look, 1998 was only 23 years ago, man. And you were relevant in the SEC only, 16 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've had a losing record to Georgia. Like,
I hear you. I agree with you.
So, like, you're playing the three teams. You have to play three teams every year that have natural advantages over you. So that means you come into the season with a minimum of 2 losses. You might sneak in a game with Florida or Georgia, depending on the year, right? Before Kirby got there. And you are firing a guy that went 9-4, 10-3.
Yeah.
Like, who else got fired recently that didn't make sense?
Did the Mullen firing make sense to you?
Mullen wanted to get out of there. Like, Mullen,
Cashed out.
with Mullen, it wasn't so much a thing of like they weren't patient. He kept like poking the bear. Like, it's clear that you're not trying to win. You're not doing what it takes to win. You're not firing staff that are underperforming on the recruiting trail, that are underperforming on the field. You're gauging interest for the NFL. You're saying stupid things in the media. You're just overall, you're not winning enough to keep poking the bear, right? Like, because I think they redid his contract after last year, after they went 8-4, right?
Right.
Sure did.
So not even 12 months after you got a new contract, you get fired.
If you don't have 5 years left on your contract right now, you're not obviously your agent's not doing a very good job as a football coach.
But yeah, Mullen's just a weirdo. I don't think he fit into what Florida wants. And I think Florida wants a tenacious, go get it coach. And they tried to like get a blast from the past because he was with Urban, but he should have stayed at Mississippi State, to be honest. Like he probably would have had he would have been Frank Beamer at Mississippi State if he never left.
And so what I'll say, what's interesting with some of these different coaching changes is that you go through this cycle, then you got it. And Florida can turn it around, especially with the way in the era of the transfer portal, they can go and they can turn around fast. You talk about facilities and everything. It's just that, are you going to be patient? And then to the other thing that I put on Dan Mullen is, hey, you played great against Alabama last year and this year. Nobody showed up for the bowl game against Oklahoma last year. And I know people don't really care or anything anymore, but if you really recruited that well, I mean, you just talked about all the people that sat out of Georgia Cincinnati last year. Georgia still won the game. I mean, at some point in time, you got to put that on coaching, right? And then obviously after they played Alabama really good this year, and then it was just a skid. And I don't think they planned on firing, but he kept on losing to people that he had no business losing to. And like, maybe they didn't have a choice.
Yeah. I mean, I think the loss to Mizzou was the final straw. But I think for Mullen, he just doesn't seem like a coach that like demands respect and discipline. Like players coming out in like hoodie t-shirts, like to warm up. Like I knew that there was a problem when all those players opted out. Like, and when your quarterback doesn't opt out, and he's got a potential to be a high draft pick, and everybody else does, even guys that didn't get drafted like Trayvon Grimes, there's a culture issue there. He didn't nip some things in the bud, because think about it from this perspective. 2018, we lose to Bama in the SEC championship game. We lose to Texas, a 9-4 team. We're back. You know you're not. You still suck. Kirby changed like his whole process about bowl games. Like, if you're not playing, get the hell away from us.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not going to play, don't be around. If you opted out, bye. See you later. Go train. There's some. I'm not going to say any names from what I've heard because I can't verify it's true. There are some players that are high profile that did not play, and it wasn't because they were injured.
I believe it.
They were not taking it serious, and Kirby said, "All right, we're not going to have it." Right. So, similar situation as Florida. We don't get to where we want to be. We lose to LSU. We go beat the hell out of Baylor the year after we lost to Texas. Do you think our guys actually wanted to play Baylor? Like, no. But we beat the hell out of Baylor.
But at some point in time, in the words of Herm Edwards, hello, you play to win the game. And the only way you can win the game is if you play.
Right. And so, yeah, but that also showed that there was a big talent disparity there. There's no reason that even with them not having they didn't have Grimes. Copeland was academically ineligible or something. Pitts didn't play. Tony didn't play. There's no reason with the talent that's in Florida that they should have gotten blown out like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're getting close to the time here. Anything else you guys want to bring up?
That's all I got. Unless you got anything there, Sean. Hey, make sure you send Hube that Stetson commercial so he can pick up on
he said I got the text already. So we'll watch it.
All right.
We'll get off. Hey, go Dogs.
Go Dogs, yeah.
Sick 'em.
Stetson Bennett's going to be MVP. You heard it here first from Hubert.
I like it.
There we go.
Maybe he'll get drafted.
Let's not go too far.
Hey,
right?
one, like, because I look at everything. One thing is, how short of a leash would it have to be to get Daniels to come in? One last thing, like 3 picks and we're down. I'm just, I know everybody kind of we got him in the back pocket. How bad would it have to be besides an injury, of course?
I think it's a Jalen Hurts situation. If we're not moving the ball, you're gonna see JT.
Okay.
Kirby's not going to lose this game for nobody. And I know, like, some people think that I'm trolling and when I'm on the board and don't trust Kirby. I just get frustrated because I know there's more information that's not being said.
Agreed.
I think, like, I know for sure nobody wants to win more than Kirby. And so I don't think he's going to let anybody get in the way of him winning this game, him getting over the hump versus Saban, and them getting this natty. So if Stetson's out there playing like he played against Florida, because he's kind of hinted at it, he needs to make quicker decisions, make better decisions. If he's not there playing 2020 Stetson ball, he's going to be standing by the coach.
Wouldn't it be ironic if Georgia beats Bama the way that Bama beat Georgia?
I think some people think that's a conspiracy of why he's not playing JT. I don't think it's that serious, but that would be poetic, so to speak. And it would be poetic if we played Notre Dame in the national championship game. But I don't want.
There you go.
Well, if you don't win by 20 on Saturday, I'll guarantee 20 plus versus Notre Dame in the national championship. But they probably won't make it. And even more so, if they do make the playoffs, I'm sure they get blown out in the first round.
There you go.
For sure.
All right, guys. Hey, a pleasure, Hugh, coming on. And
man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Go Dogs, and hope it's a good game on Saturday.
Go Dogs.
All right, man. Herschel, college football hour, and we're out.